Jim Wynorski's Sorceress is a film we're going to talk about here today. This was released, or will be released recently from Synapse Films. This is the only way you can get the uncensored director's approved edition of this film, which stars Linda Blair, but after watching it I got the idea that maybe Linda Blair is only in the movie because maybe she needed a down payment for a car or something. I don't know. Her name is kind of buried in the opening credits, so it's weird that she's in here, but you wouldn't know it by the opening credits, although she is one of the first people we see, oddly enough. Makes me think that the film was made and she was in it, and then maybe she saw it and kind of had her name buried in the credits a little bit in the opening. But if you notice this chick right here, this is none other than Julia Strain, which, of course, you know, Heavy Metal 2000, all that good stuff. She was in a lot of the late night HBO films or Cinemax films that a lot of people my age would refer to as titty movies, which would mean basically you would watch stuff with her in it just because it was full of nudity and simulated sex. Basically, that is Sorceress. Although there is a couple names here, like Michael Parks is here. But it's an odd film. It opens up, and Linda Blair's husband's got a promotion, and Julia Strain's husband is the guy that she wants to get the promotion. So she kind of puts a bit of a witchery spell on him, which causes an accident. She does it in the nude, which is probably one of the more prominent scenes in the film because it's used as the loading menu on the Blu-ray of all things. And all that stuff happens, and there's a bit of an accident, and then the husband comes home, and he finds out what she's done. He don't approve of it, and they get in a big fight, and she falls off a balcony, but she tells him that he'll never be rid of her. So you would think that is the plot. You would think, as we proceed then, to just kind of have him, him go through the motions of being kind of depressed. She's gone, but he didn't like what she done, so he tries to rekindle with an old flame of his, and he ends up seeing her everywhere, because, I'll never be rid of her. This leads to plenty of nude scenes and very, very titty movie type sexual intercourse scenes, which are softcore. You know how that goes. Which isn't too big of a surprise since Wynorski directed Busty Cops, which we spoke of on here before. Somewhere in the process of this, Linda Blair's character decides she wants to get vengeful, so she ends up kind of putting a little bit of a spell on the guy's old flame for her own merits. And things just kind of get twisted and turned around, and the plot ends up kind of being a mess to me. It's more of a TNA film than anything else. Not much else going on besides that, and Linda Blair is like the only one that does not get naked on the female side here, which is kind of disappointing, but you can always go back and watch Savage Streets if you want to see such things. This is a film from 1995, I believe. Yes, 1995. Very much a 1995 film, and you'll know what I mean when you watch it. It's not my type of thing, although I do like seeing naked women as well as the next guy. But Linda Blair made me think maybe I was getting more of a horror type film than I actually ended up with here in this one. That being said, while it wasn't for me, Synapse did, of course, as you would figure, roll out the red carpet on the transfer. It looks great. There's your disc guard. It's in a black case, which they started doing recently. As you can see here, not much in the way of extras. There is a all-new 2K transfer, which we told you about, of uncut, never-before-seen version. There's an audio commentary with director Jim Wynorski. There's additional audio commentary track with Jim Wynorski and special guest makeup artist Tom Savini. So, gives you more than one reason to watch it other than the obvious. But I just don't know if you're going to be into it unless you're really just looking for some TNA, because that's basically what you're getting. You're getting a little light on the horror and strong on the TNA, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just wasn't really what I was looking for heading into it.